Are you kicking yourself for missing out on Cardano at its very beginning stages, Polygon at just a few cents, Avalanche, Solana, Binance, Smart Chain, the list goes on? Well, you don't have to kick yourself any longer because the project I'm bringing you today is at its very beginning stages and it is a fundamental diamond in the rough waiting to be uncovered by the masses, guys. It is MultiVac. Welcome everybody, welcome to my channel RNG Crypto. It's your boy here with you for another video, and in this video, as mentioned, I am going to talk about MultiVac. I'll give you a quick rundown on what MultiVac is, and then we'll jump into the charts and I'll show you exactly why now is a good time to start investing in this project. Get ready, let's get into it. Before we get started, let me hit you with my disclaimer, guys. I am not a financial advisor. Anything I say should not be taken as such. Please make sure you're always doing your own due diligence and research before investing any money. With that said, I am here on MultiVac's website just to give us a quick rundown of what it is and why they are so powerful. So they are a pioneering flexible blockchain platform based on trusted sharding. For those of you who don't know what a blockchain platform is, think of Ethereum, Cardano, Binance Smart Chain, Solana, Avalanche, any of these layer 1 infrastructures, right? These are platforms on top of which other projects are building their dApps or their decentralized applications. So for example, of Ethereum is a platform, right? And on top of Ethereum, you have projects like, I don't know, Shiba Inu that are building their dApp, their decentralized application on top of it. So everything that Shiba Inu does is sort of dependent upon the technology of Ethereum. So if Ethereum's transactions per second is no greater than 15, well then Shiba Inu is limited to that. Right? MultiVac is a blockchain layer 1, right? So they are also an infrastructure on top of which other dApps or decentralized applications are going to be building their projects. What's special about MultiVac is that it's all dimensional sharding. So that means that they can actually scale infinitely. So they are not limited to 13 transactions per second. In fact, right now, if you see here on the screen, they're at 30,784 transactions per second, and that is at the current amount of shards, which is 64 shards. So if the transaction per second volume needed to be increased, right? So, if for example, there's a huge NFT sale or something going on that's causing a need for more transactions per second, the network of MultiVac could actually shard from 64 to 128, and then you now have 128 multiplied by 533, and that would be your new peak transaction per second limit. And that's, I think, between 65 and 70,000. I don't know what the math is right now, but to give you the idea of how they are infinitely scalable. So in turn, if they needed to accommodate more than 65, 70,000 transactions per second, they could shard again from 128 up to 256. And then you have 256 multiplied by 533, and that would be your new peak for transactions per second, and so on. And again, this is infinitely scalable. So that's one big differentiator for MultiVac. And then let's just go down here and look at the website. What is MultiVac? MultiVac is a next generation public blockchain designed for large scale and complex distributed applications. So large scale meaning it's scalable, right? And here are some of its key differentiators, and these are really the ones I want to touch on before we jump into the charts, not shards. We are talking about sharding as well, but we're jumping into the charts. So guys, they are high TPS and infinite expansion as explained. So that means, again, anytime they needed to accommodate more transactions per second, the network can shard and in turn develop or accommodate higher transactions per second limits. There is also a huge differentiator here, which is the blockchain trilemma flexibility. And the blockchain trilemma is a big problem that developers have that are building on top of layer 1s today. And basically you can only pick between two. So you can have, decentralization, scalability, and security. These are basically the three main areas that dApps focus on. However, they can only be well versed or they can only focus or have a priority in two of the three. So they can only be secure and decentralized but not scalable, or scalable and decentralized but not as secure. And that is because of the underlying technology of the layer 1 or the infrastructure or the platform on top of which they're building can also only build to accommodate for two out of the three, right? They don't have the ability to do all three at once. What's different about MultiVac, because of the way that the technology works, and I am definitely not a developer or programmer, so I could not tell you exactly what those details are. I'm sure you could find that out in GitHub. However, because of the way that this technology works, developers building on top of MultiVac can actually have a say on how MultiVac interacts with their dApp. So if they needed MultiVac to focus more on security and scalability, then they can have MultiVac do that. If they needed MultiVac to focus more on scalability and decentralization, they could have MultiVac do that. So MultiVac is able to flex accordingly to the developer's needs for them to have the best foundational platform on top of which they're building whatever dApp or decentralized application it is that they're building. So that's a huge differentiator, and there's no other blockchain out there that is providing this right now. So this is also why MultiVac is going to be very big in the future, in my opinion. And then finally, the all-dimensional sharding, which kind of goes in with the infinite expansion, is the fact that they are basically a fully scalable network that's fully sharded blockchain technology that's going to actually work with the transmission and storage and how all of that works. So basically, these are the big 3 key differentiators of what sets MultiVac apart from the rest of the layer 1s that are out here. And then, as you go through the website, they kind of give you some graphics of other things that are or other features, right? Linear scalability to infinity. So you can see here the number of shards on the bottom and the transactions per second on the left. So 2 shards, 4, 8, 16, 34, 64, where we're currently at, and it goes on. Right, 128, 56, and so on, 10, 24, whatever the next number would be. VRF dynamic resharding. There's distributed storage scheme based on the Merkle trees, which I'm sure is some kind of, if you're a developer or programmer, you probably know exactly what that means. And then there was also fair mining by everyone. Speaking of mining, they do have staking ability, guys. You can stake, and currently the APY is about 14.86%, which is not bad. When I first got into this back in August, it was actually at around 25%, which is really good. But they have staking goals here that you can meet. So right now, the next goal is 4 billion stake. You can see we're currently at 3.5 billion MTV stake, which is actually a lot of liquidity locked in right now. And you can unstake at any time, by the way. But once that goal is met, 5% of this will be airdropped back to all of the stakers. So about 200 million MTV is going to be airdropped back, which was pretty nice when I was part of the 3 billion stake goal, and I got, I think, around 70, 80K MTV airdrop to me, which was nice. But essentially, there is staking here as well, which is definitely something I look for when I invest in projects. I want to make sure that I also have some kind of passive gain from it. And, seeing that I'm probably holding MultiVac until 2025, I want to be able to get some passive income from that as well. So just so you're aware, there is staking as well. And then finally, let's dive into the chart and why MultiVac is, for my opinion, a good buy right now during this dip. So I am here on the daily for MultiVac, and I've got this pulled up looking at the charts from KuCoin. And you can see that this has gone through a significant correction, as you can see, from the all-time high all the way down to where we are right about now, about 69-70% correction, which is significant. And I don't think it's going to correct much further. Right now, this is a good area of support. If you look at some previous price actions here back in April, this was the April pump from the beginning of the year, or March of this year, all the way up to April. We had a significant price movement as well with a big correction, and we found support at around 0.007 and hit a little bit of resistance at the area that we're at right now at 0.009. So let me actually draw up a horizontal line right there, if I can find the indicator. Boom, here it is. So this was our last level of resistance there back in May. We bounced off of that level of resistance twice, and then we went through that entire bearish market, I guess, if you will. And then once we broke through that again, found new all-time highs. Right now we're going back to that same zone, and I think this will be this is going to act as our line of support here, because we did find some good, or build some good support there back in August timeframe. So I don't see us going back any further. If we were to fall through this area of support, I don't think we would get any lower than 0.007 cents, just based on previous support as well. So these are 2 lines of support that I'm looking at, and this is why I started DCAing, or dollar cost averaging, into MultiVac since probably about a week now, because I started going actually, and when I pull up the fib at the 0.618, and if you take it down from the low back in August to the all-time high, the fib is telling us, or the Fibonacci retracement is telling us that we are in a good buy-in area right here. Usually that's a good area to buy into at the .618. However, we've fallen through that, which is great. So I was starting to dollar cost average around the 1.3, 1.2 cent mark. And now since we've fallen through it, I stopped dollar cost averaging and I started buying relatively large bags with all of the passive income I'm making. That is my decision again, not financial advice, but I want to be a whale come 2025 with this project. Because again, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, this is like getting in Cardano at 1 cent, 3 cents, 4 cents. So this is definitely a very good time to invest in this project, provided the fundamental strength it has and where I think this can go in the future. Finally, once more, not financial advice. Definitely do your own due diligence and research before even jumping into this if you're not already part of it. But yeah, so we are at a very good buy-in right now, oversold here. And if we take it out all the way into the weekly, let me actually remove some of this stuff really quickly. All right, so if we're out in the weekly, and I just want to kind of zoom out here and just give us a quick idea of the Elliott wave that's been happening out on the weekly pattern. So going back again around beginning of this year in February, wave 1, we were going up, wave 2, down, wave 3, up, 4, boom, and 5, right? And now what's going to happen is more than likely an ABC correction. So let me get this a little bit bigger so you can see it a little better. An ABC correction down, also an Elliott wave pattern. What's more than likely going to happen is wave A, or 1, 2, 3 correction, right? A, and then maybe something like this where we hit previous resistance right around the 1.3, and then we might fall down below before we then go up for another pattern of an Elliott wave going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and up. Let me actually draw that out for you guys here. All right, so we've done this. It's gonna more than likely take one of these patterns, and then from there we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and back up with the parabolic movement. These are ugly lines, but you get the idea, guys. So currently we are in a correction. I think it's a very good time to get into this project. I think that this project has great long-term potential. It is fundamentally strong and is definitely overlooked still. I mean, if you look at the current market cap right now, we are only sitting at about a $32 million market cap. And if we look at the all-time high, we were at 2.9 cents. So if we go back here in max and actually change this to market cap, what was that market cap? 94 million, right? So just even if we go back to the all-time high, the previous all-time high, that is almost a 3x from here, right? So that's definitely some good upside, even if you're in for it short term. But again, I'm in for it for the long run. I'm going to hodl this thing all the way till 2025 bull cycle, and hopefully this alone will make me a multi-millionaire, but who knows? We'll see, guys. That's really all I wanted to cover, guys. I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope you like what I'm giving you. If there's anything I need to change, let me know down in the comments. I'm always open to improving myself, always open to questions. If you have questions, jump into the Telegram, come chat with us. It's not just me, it's an entire community there for your support, helping you out. If you have questions, they're there, I'm there, and we all back each other up, guys. That is it for me. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, guys. I will see you in the next video. Take it easy. Peace.